A few months ago, I posted a video where I ran a 30-day experiment to see if listing every single day on Poshmark could increase my sales. And you guys absolutely loved that video. So today we're back with another experiment. Except this time I wanted to answer a different question. Can Poshmark automation actually increase your sales? So for the last 30 days, I've been testing PrimeLister's automation tools in my Poshmark closet. And today I want to share with you what I automated, how it impacted my sales, and whether or not I think it's actually worth it. So let's get into it. And if you're new here, my name's Laura. I was a full-time reseller for 2 years before I quit to go back to school to get my MBA. And now I'm showcasing how I'm restarting my reselling business from scratch here on this channel with all of the knowledge that I now have from my business degree. So let's start with where I was before this 30-day experiment. I ran this automation experiment from May 10th to June 10th. So the period before this experiment, I was doing everything manually by myself. And that included things like sending offers, sharing my closet every day, and I was trying to stay on top of relisting old inventory after it had been up for over 60 days. But sometimes that was falling through the cracks. So PrimeLister offers a whole suite of automation tools. I want to focus on the three main ones that I used, which were offers to likers, bundle creation, and relisting stale inventory, because I feel like these three are the three that take the most time to do and have the biggest impact on your business ultimately and on your sales. So the biggest automation for me by far was offers to likers. I actually timed how long it took me to send offers to likers before I started using Poshmark automation, because I just wanted to get a sense of like how long were these tasks actually taking. It took me 2 minutes to send offers to likers when I woke up in the morning one day. So that was just like 8 hours worth of likes approximately. And it took me 2 minutes to send offers on all of those different items. I'll show here because I actually screen recorded me doing it. And I calculate that I typically send offers to likers 3 or 4 times a day back when I was doing it manually by myself. So if you add that up, that's about 6 to 8 minutes per day, equates to about 4 hours over the course of a month. So even though it doesn't seem like it's that much time, it does add up over time when you're doing these little repetitive tasks every single day that Poshmark kind of requires of you in order to promote you in the algorithm. Like I mentioned, I started using PrimeLister on May 10th. And my goal wasn't just to save time, to be clear. My ultimate goal is to generate more sales. I was hoping I could save time and then use that time to spend on things that would actually add value to my business, like sourcing and listing. But I was also hoping that some of these automation tools would actually generate sales that I wouldn't have made otherwise. But honestly, I found with this tool that time savings wasn't even the biggest benefit, because if I'm being honest, even though when you do the math, it does add up to 4 hours in the course of a month, it didn't really ever feel like it was taking that much time to me, because I would usually just do it when I was like in between tasks or just like sitting in front of the couch. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But I think that the real benefit for automating offers to likers is speed. When someone likes your item, they're actively shopping right now, and they're likely comparing all the different listings that are available on Poshmark in the moment. And I know this because I also buy on Poshmark, and this is totally how I shop. I will go through and like a bunch of listings that I'm interested in. And then oftentimes the one that I end up buying is based on someone sending me an offer. So I kind of want them to send the offer quickly instead of like 2 days later or even later that day, because likely I want to make a purchase soon. So one thing that I really liked about the PrimeLister automation is that you can set how long you want PrimeLister to wait to send an offer after the buyer likes an item. So for me, I set it to 5 minutes because I felt like that was enough time to not feel like creepy and annoying, but also it was still within the window of they're probably still shopping. And I also really like how I was able to set custom rules. So for example, items that were less than 30 days old, I was sending a 10% off offer via PrimeLister. And then for items that were older than 30 days old, I was sending a 20% off offer. If something hasn't sold after 30 days, I'm happy to sell it for a lower price. And the things that are newer in my closet, I would rather try and hold out for more. So I like that I was able to like segment those different types of listings and send offers to likers based on how long they've been listed. Like I said, this one is the one that I think had the biggest impact on my business. And I can share a couple different stories of sales that directly came from this feature. So one of them was this Free People mini dress that I had listed for just 2 days. I had it listed for $50, and PrimeLister sent an offer to likers for 10% off because that was my custom rule that I had set. So $45. The liker responded with a counter offer at $35, and I happily accepted that offer because it was definitely within the realm of what I was seeing this dress sell for, and it had only been listed for 2 days, so in and out is ideal for me. Another listing that had a similar story was this blouse from the brand Zarena. I had this one listed for $45. PrimeLister sent a $40 offer. The buyer countered with a $30 offer, which I again happily accepted. So I did notice that a lot of the sales that I was making through this offer to likers automation were, I was sort of opening up the negotiation with my offer from PrimeLister, and then the buyer was countering my offer with something a little bit lower. But I did also have several sales where PrimeLister sent an offer and the buyer just automatically accepted. So one example of this is this really cute like gingham print dress. I had this one listed for 57 days, so it was really close to being relisted, which we'll get into in the next section. PrimeLister went and sent the buyer an offer of $32. I had it listed for $40. So they sent a 20% off offer, and I was able to make the sale. The buyer just accepted that offer. That was a sale, for example, that just automatically went through based on the offer that PrimeLister sent. The second automation tool that I used on PrimeLister that I really liked was the relisting tool. Any item that is older than 60 days in my Poshmark closet, PrimeLister is automatically relisting. I really like this tool for two main reasons. The first benefit, of course, is that you're getting fresh eyes on your listing. And sometimes you'll make a sale quickly after the piece being relisted, which I noticed. So one example of this is I had these Lululemon Align leggings listed for 60 days, and then PrimeLister relisted them. And then 3 days after them being relisted, I made the sale where a buyer sent me an offer for $34 and I had them listed for $40. But this was shortly after they were relisted. And then the second benefit that I really see to relisting pieces is just that you're generating more activity in your Poshmark closet. So I have been trying to list every single day consistently, and I've been doing that now for months since my first 30-day experiment video, which you can definitely go watch after this one. But even on days when I maybe forgot to list something, or if I didn't have anything to list, I just like that I know that something is being listed every day because PrimeLister is relisting a stale piece of inventory every single day. So I know that no matter what, I'm having new listings in my closet. And then usually after it's relisted, I notice that that piece is getting a sudden influx of new attention, like new likes. Third automation tool from PrimeLister that I really liked that honestly surprised me. This one was not one that I necessarily would have thought of myself, but I just feel like it adds a lot of value actually. So it's the bundle creation tool. And again, this one, like all the other automation tools on PrimeLister, you can really customize. So for me, if the same buyer likes 2 or more pieces, then PrimeLister will automatically create a bundle for them and add all the things that they liked to the bundle. It will automatically send a 25% off discount to the buyer. And I also added discounted shipping. I'm happy to send slightly more generous offers to buyers when they're buying in bulk. And then you can also add a comment that you want PrimeLister to add to the bundle. So my comment just says basically like, thanks for liking this item. I created a special bundle discount for you that will be valid for 24 hours. So PrimeLister will also add the comment for you automatically. I actually made a sale directly from this tool. So a buyer liked 2 items, PrimeLister created a bundle for them, added the comment, the buyer purchased the item at the 25% off price. This is sort of running in the background and I don't even have to think about it. And then I have a $65 bundle sale. Now, PrimeLister does also offer several other automations that run in the background, and I did have all of them turned on during this 30-day experiment too. And that includes things like sharing my closet, sharing other people's listings, following users back who follow me, and sharing things from people's closets who share things from me. There's a smart activity feature that allows PrimeLister to just basically be active on Poshmark on your behalf. So I also had all of these things turned on. And these are a little trickier because I don't think that you can necessarily point to those things as having made a sale specifically. But I do think that Poshmark in general just loves activity as we all know who are on Poshmark, they want to see that you're active. So all of these things running in the background, I think, do help with the algorithm overall. Now for the part that everyone cares about, what were the results of this experiment? So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I ran this from May 10th to June 10th. So that was the window in which I had this automation turned on. So for the period directly before the automation was turned on, April 9th to May 9th, I made 15 sales, which was about $700 in revenue and about $560 in earnings. And on average during that period, each listing was taking me about 46 days to sell. This is the super exciting part. So during the experiment, during that 30 days, I made 56 sales. I made over $2,400 in revenue and over $1,920 in earnings. And perhaps most excitingly for me, I was able to decrease my days to sell from 46 days to just 27 days during this 30-day experiment. Now, just to give some context to those numbers, that is nearly 4 times growth in sales and 3.5 times growth in revenue and earnings. And I was able to decrease my days to sell by 20 days. So things were selling 20 days faster during this experiment. And I do want to be completely transparent here. I did also increase how much I was listing during the experiment as well. In the period before the experiment, I listed about 50 items, and during the experiment, I listed about 130 items. I think that this tool allowed me to list more. It's one of the reasons why I was able to list 130 items, because I had more time to source. I had more time to list. So it just enabled me to list a lot more, even though I didn't necessarily feel like I was working that much harder during the course of the month. And I also think that another key piece is that the automation was allowing me to capitalize on the new inventory that I was listing, because every single liker was getting an offer right away. I was sharing my closet consistently. I was sending those bundle offers. I was relisting stale inventory, and all of that was happening without any extra time or effort on my behalf, which I really appreciate. So I was able to spend all of that extra time to list more. 32 of the sales that I made during this experiment period happened in 10 days or less. So it was things that I was listing during the period that I was running the experiment. And again, it's because I was enabled to have more time to list. So I was able to list more and then sell the things that I was listing pretty quickly. After 30 days of trying Poshmark automation, am I going to continue using it? To me, the answer is unequivocally yes. I actually, now that I've been using it for 30 days, can't believe that I didn't start using it sooner, and also could never imagine going back. Like, I just am so used to having all this stuff just happening automatically on my behalf that I just can't imagine having to do it all manually again. So if you're interested in trying PrimeLister yourself, I do have a link in the description down below. And if you click that link, it will give you a 7-day free trial and then 30% off your first month. So if you want to really try it out, I would recommend doing a month. I don't think that 7 days is really enough to see the full benefits in action. So I would definitely recommend doing that month. And if you click my link, you'll get 30% off your first month. And the Poshmark automation tool is just $25 a month. So with the 30% off, it's less than $18. It's like $17.50 a month. So you can really try it out. I just think it is so cool, so worth it. And full disclosure, if you do click my link and use it, you'll get that 30% off, and I also will get a little bit of a kickback as well. If you would like to see more data-driven reseller experiments like this one, definitely give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for 30-day experiments that I should try next. I am really open to any and all suggestions, and I really appreciate you watching until the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!